Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today we're going to talk about 10 things Battlefield Hardline does better than Battlefield 4. And who knows, since Battlefield 4 is still always undergoing maintenance and updates, perhaps they can borrow some of these improvements and retroactively add it to the Battlefield series. Item number 1 on the list is Minimap Elevation Indicator. This tells you if somebody is above or below you when looking at their triangle on the minimap. This is unbelievably useful. There's so much spotting in Battlefield, and in BF4 especially, there's a lot of vertical gameplay, yet you have no indication in BF4 to tell if somebody's above or below you. In Battlefield Hardline, the size of the triangle actually shrinks depending on how far away they are in elevation. This greatly simplifies things when you're fighting inside, say, a 3-story building on the bank map, or perhaps there's a sniper on top of a skyscraper and you think you're hunting him down on the ground level, but he's actually way above you. It's also nice for hunting down parachuters that are parachuting in directly above. Item number 2. Hardline adds 5 different loadout slots per each class. This makes it so you can basically customize an engineer or an operator or a professional to whatever task you have at hand, and then not have to redesign that class each time you switch to a new game mode. This is incredibly useful, and if BF4 only had this, it would make things so much simpler. Item number 3. Battlefield 4 for a long time has been trying to balance out the med packs and the med bags to make them fair. Sometimes it was just too powerful to be able to throw down a med pack mid-firefight and basically absorb enough health and re-engage your opponent and basically win the firefight simply because you had the med pack and they didn't. The most recent attempt to solve this issue in Battlefield 4 is not allowing med packs to work while you are suppressed, or at least they have a cooldown after you get suppressed in which they can heal you back. This means you can't heal mid-firefight. At first I thought this was an alright solution, but it ended up being very annoying for many people. Hardline took a very simple yet effective approach that I like much better. They made it so every time you throw down a med pack, it's basically on a 20 to 30 second respawn timer. I'm not sure the exact time increment, but it's long enough that you can't keep spamming them, so it really makes you think about when you want to place down those med packs, and you're not going to just throw them down at every corner you think you might engage somebody in a firefight. You're going to wait until you really need them. Item number 4 on the list is something that's very simple yet very important for an enjoyable Battlefield experience, and that is limiting the player count for game modes and map sizes. Rather than taking the open-ended approach of Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, where they let servers set the player size and they let the community just decide on what servers they wanted to play, this time around they're sort of limiting it. So if you want to play heist mode, it seems like it's going to be pretty much permanently limited to 32 players. Conquest Large should be 64 players, Conquest Normal 32 players, etc. I think this is a great approach to designing a video game. As a game designer, it shows that you've taken the time to actually see what player counts work best with what game modes and achieve the best results. Hopefully Hardline will take this one step further and take away instant vehicle spawn servers, at least for ranked game modes, so we can have an even more balanced and enjoyable experience. Item number 5 on the list is a much better balanced grenade loadout. Basically, you can only carry one type of explosive grenade. Now you also get incendiaries and gas grenades, but in terms of instant kill type grenades, M67 frag grenades are the only thing that's going to do it, and you can only carry one of them. This greatly reduces the amount of explosive spam in the game. They've also upgraded grenades like incendiary grenades and Molotovs to burn blue if they're friendly. Explosive spam has been in Battlefield games since the dawn of time. It's always been annoying, nobody's really been a huge fan of it, and Hardline has made some of the biggest steps so far to eliminating it. Item number 6 on the list further reduces explosive spam, and this is the fact that Hardline has gotten rid of most of the indirect fire weapons that were in previous Battlefield games that just annoyed the heck out of people like myself. They've gotten rid of the UCAV, they've gotten rid of the mortar, they've gotten rid of the XM25. These infantry items allowed you to kill players without having direct line of sight on them. This was incredibly annoying. It also allowed you to get kills sometimes at the very beginning of a round when players literally had no decisions or choices they could make. They would basically be blown up within a couple seconds after the round started. So they've gotten rid of these gadgets and they've replaced them with slightly more strategic gadgets like grappling hook and zip lines. These things can't really be used to obnoxiously kill your opponents, but they'll give you tactical advantages instead. Item number 7 on the list is another thing that Hardline has removed from the Battlefield series and hopefully will never return. This is the front knife animation, one of the most aggravating things in the entire game. You can basically run up to somebody, hit the knife button, and it'll go into a knifing sequence where the opponent sort of has the opportunity to try and counter knife it. Unfortunately, it's incredibly buggy and broken, so half the time you don't even get the counter knife option. It also creates a state of invincibility for one of the teams, and basically you have to stand around watching watching these two players knife fight while you can't actually do anything like shoot the opponent. Now if you're going to try and melee somebody from the front, you'll actually swing and do a certain amount of melee damage. There's also different types of melee weapons just to make this process more interesting. Item number 8 is the fact that Hardline has replaced the tiered unlock system with the money unlock system. The money unlock system, in my opinion, is so much better because it's very inviting for new players. Rather than seeing the best players in the world run around with the hardest to get guns with all the attachments on them, you can now just save up your money from the beginning to get whichever specific gun you want. Sure, it can still take a little while, but it's not going to take anywhere near as long as it did before, and now you don't have to unlock, say, 10 different guns you never wanted in the first place just to get the gun you were really after. In addition to that, I can spend my money across classes. Say I'm playing the operator all the time, but I really want this cool bolt-action sniper rifle, but I haven't played the professional at all. Doesn't matter, I can use that money I got as the operator and spend it on the professional class, and then go over and play the professional with my favorite bolt action. Item number 9 on the list is the fact that Hardline has removed the coyote optic from the game. Now you might be thinking, like, how is this such a great addition to the game? Well, the coyote optic is, for one, not a very good optic in real life. It's cheap, it doesn't hold its zero well, it won't hold up under any kind of torture test or stress test. It's something that you really wouldn't see in the field of combat too often. But because none of those qualities translate into video games, all of a sudden it's become the lowest profile, easiest to use red dot sight in the game, making all other red dot sights pretty much obsolete. By removing this sight from the game altogether, we now have a much bigger option of sights to pick from, and I think we're going to see much more variety in terms of what players are choosing to play with. Item number 10 on the list is something that applies to vehicle users. Say you've been flying around in the attack helicopter with your buddy, you got shot down, and you really want to respawn in it, but you don't know how long that's going to take. Well, Hardline has actually put in a little respawn timer on all of the vehicles when you're in the spawn screen. This will let you know how long you need to wait for it to respawn, and you can make the decision, should we wait for the vehicle to respawn, or should we just run out in the field and play as infantry for a bit? In addition to that, sometimes you've been playing as infantry, you get killed, and you're looking for some good transportation to get back into the action. Well, before you had no idea how long it was going to take for vehicles to respawn. Now you can look at your deployment screen and see, oh, there's going to be a motorcycle or a cop car that's going to spawn in the next 5 seconds. Rather than spawning as infantry and trying to hoof it all the way, I'll just wait another 5 or 10 seconds, wait for the vehicle to spawn, and take that back into combat. A lot of these updates can be considered small things, little updates, things that are not like monumental in size or scale, but I would say they still add a lot in terms of the enjoyment quality. The minimap elevation indicator is something that I've just been wanting in Battlefield forever, and the fact that it's finally in Hardline makes a huge difference to me, and it makes the game much more enjoyable, at least on my play level. A lot of these updates are things that Battlefield 4 could also retroactively apply to their model. Obviously, you couldn't say replace the unlock system with the money system, that would just be too much work and too much hassle, but things like the minimap updates, the different loadouts per class, the med pack recharge time, limiting player counts for game modes and stuff like that, that could be retroactively applied to BF4, and I know they still got a team that's trying to update and make BF4 a better, more enjoyable experience, and I think it's certainly a worthwhile pursuit for the team to actually focus some of their efforts on incorporating these features. Anyway, that's my list of things that Battlefield Hardline has done better than BF4. Hopefully we can see a lot of these changes become permanent additions to the Battlefield franchise and make it into future Battlefield games as well. As always guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap, signing off.